Hey trackies, welcome back to another video. Please remember to smash that subscribe button, hit the like button as well. That's how the video gets to the YouTube algorithm. Share the video if you care. I hope y'all care, so share and sound off in the comment section below. Well. The whole Jamaica track and field fraternity right now has been set alight. Honestly, it's on fire. It is literally on fire on the heels of the National Senior Championships. Leighton Levy from Sportsmax has revealed Turkey's secret bid to recruit the elite Jamaican athletes ahead of the 2028 Olympic Games. Absolute shocker. And as I said, right now, the track and field community in Jamaica has been set alight. Now, as I said, this was revealed in an article done by Leighton Levy on Sportsbacks. You all can take a read. But yeah, I'm going to read some snippets from the article and, of course, tell you my thoughts. So it says an audacious bid by Turkish athletics officials to lure elite Jamaican track and field athletes ahead of the 2028 Olympic Games in Los Angeles is raising concerns with the athletics community amid revelations of lucrative financial offers and covert, sneaky negotiations. Now, according to impeccable sources, the move orchestrated by a well-known international sports agent, and at this particular point, I'm starting to throw Asafa out there. Is he, a sports agent? Because this on the heels of Asafa Powell talking about how, he was recruited and the lucrative sums that were offered to him and he wished he had taken it. Track is at this particular point in time, I'm feeling like Asafa Powell kind of just opened the floodgates. That's just how I'm feeling. But anyway, let's continue reading, right? Reportedly includes not only an upfront of at least US 500,000. Jackies, let me say that again. At least the minimum 500,000 US dollars per athlete. Oh my God, right? No, but also promises of substantial monthly stipends and performance bonuses reaching into the hundreds of thousands for medals earned at global competitions. Track is when I tell you Asafa opened up the floodgates, he opened up the floodgates. Now, sources close to the situation say the effort is part of a broader push by Turkey to bolster its Olympic medal chances through naturalization, with several top Jamaican athletes being approached quietly in recent weeks. The recruitment drive is reportedly operating with urgency as the athletes must acquire Turkish citizenship and residency before the end of this month in order to satisfy the 3-year eligibility rule enforced by World Athletics for the 2028 Olympic Games. Some athletes who have won global medals in the recent past are said to be seriously considering the offer. Trackies, do you hear that? Our medalists in the recent past are said to be seriously considering the offer. Offers reportedly made to other elite athletes from leading clubs on the island were declined, with the camps distancing themselves for now, let's repeat that, from the overtures. Notably, some members of the Jamaican Athletics Administrative Association, J3As, appear to be left in the dark. Why am I not surprised? Why am I not surprised that they have their heads in the ground, apparently? But anyway, let's keep on reading from this article. Now, it says some observers familiar with the situation argue that the athletes may simply be seeking better opportunities, financial security, resources, and long term support that the Jamaican government is currently unable to or unwilling to provide. With injuries, career uncertainty, and limited domestic funding, all factors, the offers from Turkey, while controversial, could be viewed by some as a pragmatic move. Hmm. Though the practice is not new, the scale of secrecy and current attempt, coupled with the involvement of local figures and high stakes ahead of LA 2028, has cast a shadow over Jamaica's sporting landscape industry. Insiders fear the financial incentives may be too tempting for young athletes. With the end of the month deadline looming and no official statement yet from Jamaica's governing body, the situation remains fluid. What's clear is that the next next few weeks could have far-reaching implications for the island's Olympic future and its sporting identity. Far-reaching implications indeed. And it was also further revealed on Sportsmax as well that the majority of the athletes being targeted right now, it seems, are our field events athletes. Now, y'all know I've been going, hoopla about what Jamaica's track and field team will look like by LA 2028. When I think about how well our field events have come on, not only are we doing good on the track as we've always done, but we're doing awesome in the field, and we're seeing new and upcoming athletes or young and upcoming athletes really taking on the field events and doing really well globally, as we saw what's happened recently at the NCAA Outdoor Division 1, championships. We saw a lot of Jamaicans competing strongly in the field events. So yes, I'm looking forward to seeing these athletes bolster, our track and field team. But with Turkey, rolling in with this amount of money and no financial security offered from Jamaica, especially for the field events athletes, let me remind y'all, our bronze medalist in the shot put, Rajendra Campbell, to date, still does not have a professional contract. So when you think about financial security and the reality of life, then it will be hard for these athletes to not be tempted into accepting the offer. Trackies, let me be absolutely clear about this point before continuing. This US $500,000 that's being offered by Turkey per athlete, and that's at least $500,000. Let's be clear, as well as the additional bonuses that range into hundreds of thousands of dollars. There's no way, Jose, Jamaica can afford it. We're not going to argue that point. We can't afford it. The big bad United States of America can't afford it. Great Britain can't afford it as well. And of course, that has a lot to do with the depth of the teams, that represent for each country. So we can't afford this kind of payout. Of course, if the teams were smaller, if we had a handful of athletes, maybe, we could afford, to pay out, per athlete, substantial amounts. And by we, I mean US, because some way, somehow Jamaica still can't afford nothing, all if I won, right? But I'm just saying, maybe if, Team USA had, maybe a handful of athletes, they'd be able to afford, a substantial payout. The same thing for Great Britain. But as things stand right now, with the current depth of the teams, they can't afford it. And as I said, Jamaica can't afford it as well. But it got me thinking, what exactly can Jamaica afford? Right? What can we afford? And it took me back to 2024. And this is a point that I've kept bringing up on this channel, and I will keep bringing up on this channel, because now it's a point of contention, and now it has become an issue where, if indeed our young athletes are tempted away from the island, I can't help but look to the J3As and wonder, what could you have done? Could you have done anything to prevent this? And I say, trackies, yes, they could have. Now, here's why. In 2024, Adidas made a bid, right, to be kit sponsor for Team Jamaica, our athletic program. And it was revealed to the public. And in said contract were a number of stipulations that would benefit the athletes outside of what is given to J3As to continue to build the track and field program at large, from a Jamaican perspective. But there were also stipulations and bonuses that were in that contract that would benefit the current athletes, especially the medalists from competitions. And we're seeing here in this article where they point out that bonuses, would be issued out for athletes per medal, received from global competitions. And in that contract, there was a stipulation for athletes to receive bonuses, trackies, from medals received at global competitions. Now, this is something I talked about for years. I wondered, why is it that Jamaica was unable to have bonuses issued out for our athletes when they medaled, right? And I even pointed out that there's no way, Jose, that in Jamaica's heist, during when Usain Bolt was competing, that we could not negotiate a contract with Puma that had stipulations in the contract that ensured that the athletes would receive bonuses for their medals earned at global competitions. At that particular point, anybody would have been willing to bend over backwards for Jamaica, right? So you're not going to convince me that we were unable to negotiate said contract. But anyway, it never happened. For whatever reason, I would love to know. It never happened. Fast forward now to 2024, as I said, where Adidas comes with this contract, what's revealed to the public that we can all see with these bonuses included. Adidas was turned down. And the reason they were turned down is because Puma bettered the contract. That was the exact wording from the J3As. Puma bettered the contract. So I'm sitting here smiling pretty and I'm saying, well, if they bettered it, all the better for our athletes. But to date, one, we're unable to hear about any stipulations in said contract. So they received all this money from Puma apparently with no stipulations in the contract. So Puma just dash out some money, you know, with nothing written down with ink on paper to say XYZ's bonuses that goes out to the athlete, XYZ's for that, XYZ's. You're trying to tell me that there's no contract stipulations for all this money that Puma doled out to you that was better than what Adidas was offering? Trackies, herein lies the issue. Because no, as I said, this was revealed by Sportsmax that it seems as though they're really targeting our field events athletes. And we all know our field events athletes are not being catered to. Well, globally, the field events athletes are really on the back foot. Only if you know you're in Europe, maybe you'll be able to get extra benefits, because I do realize and recognize that there are a number of field events athletes with that extra Red Bull on their kit. So whether you are a Puma athlete, and I think I saw this with Puma first, right? Whether you're a Puma athlete, you'd see that Red Bull sign, right? For me, that's extra bonuses for these athletes as far as I'm concerned. And then also track is, I've recently noticed as well, I believe last year, the first athlete that I saw with it from Nike was a high jumper, a female high jumper as well. And she had it on her outfit, right? In 2025, we're seeing more and more people with, the Red Bull on their competition kit. In 2025, I've also witnessed as well where that same Red Bull is onto our kit uniform. Our Jamaican kit uniform has that Red Bull sign on it. So, yes, trackies, we did receive a substantial amount of money. But as I said, we have not seen or heard, and the athletes for sure, based on who I speak to, have not heard of these so-called stipulations, especially bonuses that athletes would be able to receive once they medal globally. And again, I point out the field events athletes, not only are they on the back foot, from a kit sponsor perspective. Again, let's point out Rajendra Campbell. He has yet to receive, or is still not signed for any professional contract. So not only are they on the back foot, he's a medalist. He's a bronze medalist from the Olympic Games. No contract. We have people that can barely, run, in top 20 for their individual event, right? And they are, sitting pretty with contracts, but yet you have medalists that are unable to, get contracts. And I suppose for the ones that actually do have contracts, it's probably worth nothing. It's probably worth pennies, right? So you have these athletes that we're unable to really give that kind of financial security outside of potentially providing them a bonus that would have come with that contract that you signed with Puma. But not even that we want to give them. Not even that we want to give them. Now, can you fault these athletes for potentially being lured away? Right now, trackies, y'all know how I feel about Jamaica athletics, Jamaica track and field. And I honestly want to cry. I'm very, very, very sad because I'm literally watching our system that has been so successful because the athletes allowed it to be successful combust because we're unwilling to do what is right. We are unwilling to do what is right. J3s, do what is right before we lose everything. Anyway, trackies, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like the video, of course, and subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye.